start off by saying I think New England most certainly won this trade. I mean, if anyone's seen a picture of Rob Gronkowski in the past year, he looks like he does crack for his living now. Uh, he's a pretty skinny dude now. I mean, Bill Belichick just really finessed the Buccaneers out of a fourth rounder for a WWE wrestler, and I think that's the biggest thing that everyone's forgetting here.
Yeah, they basically turned. I mean, he was retired anyway. He was nothing to the Patriots. They got a fourth rounder out of it, and now the NFC South is even more held than it already was.
I mean, could he come out and make some plays for him? Probably. He probably still has some left in the tank. What was he, like 28, 29 when he retired? I'm sure he can still ball a little bit, but to say that this was a bad trade for New England would not make sense to me, and I think they definitely won it.
I think it's a win-win for both teams personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think things just work their way out for Tom Brady. People want to play with him. It's kind of like the team up effect in the NBA.
Well, when you create a legacy like Tom has done over the past 20 years, you can't really.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm not criticizing it. I think it's great for the league. I mean, Gronk being in the league makes it more fun to watch. I mean, all respect to WWE fans, but I want to see him on the gridiron.
Yeah, it's corny, but
I definitely agree with a win-win situation there. I mean, New England got something for nothing, and Brady got Gronk back. And I also think Gronk being a year out, he was really banged up. I mean, that was almost a year of rest. I mean, assuming his body can handle the load again, handle the weight again, I mean, he's probably going to be a little more healthy than he has been the last few years he played. But we'll see how it works out.
That's obviously what's going to come down to is if his body can handle it. We forget how physical of a position tight end is. You're blocking the Khalil Max, the Von Millers. He's just going to have to show that he still has his strength, and that's still part of his game. Because what made Gronk great was, yes, he was that vertical threat, but he was a great run blocker as well for a number of years.
I mean, the Bucs are deep at tight end too. So, assuming if they were to not get rid of anyone, which I mean, I'm sure they get one of them, he might not even have to play a lot of snaps. He'd just be in the rotation, not even have to worry about his health too much.
How convenient is it that right when Luke Kuechly retires, here comes Gronk to the NFC South? I mean, who the heck is going to cover him in that division if you get even 90% of what Gronk was?
You still have Deion Jones in Atlanta.
When's the last time he's played a full season healthy, though? He's had a lot of injury problems.
That's an interesting
When's the last time Gronk's played a season healthy?
Yeah, that's true too.
Good counter argument there.
That's why I think that I think the Bucs will probably keep. I mean, they're for sure going to keep at least one of them, maybe both, just because they want to keep Gronk situational, keep him healthy.
I think the Bucs are a little higher on OJ Howard, personally. I mean, he's younger. He's still on that rookie deal.
I mean, they still can run a lot of 12 personnel where they get OJ and Gronk out there at the same time, which is what Bruce Arians likes to do anyway. He likes to get those two tight ends out there and throw them the ball.
Yeah.
Seam routes, deep seams, deep corners.
Yeah. I also think it gives Tom Brady that kind of that check down option instead of these deep threats that he has. He's go down the field. I mean, Gronk's a huge target. I mean, I'm sure he's not as fast as he once was. I'm sure he probably lost a step or two. I mean, he's definitely just going to be a possession, short range guy, I think. And I think that's huge to Brady to have that target, especially in this offense.
Yeah.
Well, it gives him that familiarity also. He trusts Gronk. He's new to that system. All new guys, all new running backs. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. It's going to take a while to build that trust up, even though they're both elite receivers.
I think it shows, too, that him and Bruce Arians are getting along very well, that Bruce was so open to bringing in Gronk. And because Brady's so used to running and having so much control over his offense in New England, and just how precise of an offense, too. I mean, there's so many guys that go to New England and just can't handle the offense. I mean, that's what happened to Mohamed Sanu last year. He was also playing hurt, but it's just such an important thing, and I think they're going to work really well together.
I was about to say that, Rug. I found it interesting just because all those years in New England, the offense has been so Brady dominant, and it obviously ran through him. I was wondering like how him and Arians were going to get along, and this trade kind of lets me know that their chemistry is already heading in the right direction.
Another thing to note also is that since there may not be OTAs or preseason or much of anything to prepare, it's going to be important that Gronk is there and familiar with Tom Brady. They have the chemistry too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think sorry, go ahead, Zach.
I want to put out a quick little side, not bet, but just like a little thing.
Okay.
Under on how many games Gronk plays this season.
We were still talking about the first topic.
As I was saying, what do you guys think if OJ Howard? We'll pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Maybe cut that out.
Please stop talking for sure.
But what do you guys think? So if the Ravens can trade 30-year-old Hayden Hurst for a second-round pick, do you think that the Bucs will get a first-rounder for OJ Howard and maybe use it to reload, get another guy to put around Brady on the O-line in the draft, or maybe another guy at linebacker just to make that team even better this year since they're in total win-now mode?
I don't think he goes for a first. I just think tight ends are really undervalued in terms of draft capital. I mean, you guys just robbed. I think a lot of NFL teams can come to the conclusion that you guys hit a heist on Atlanta trading Hayden Hurst for that pick, and I just think that not a lot of teams would follow Atlanta's direction in that aspect.
Do you think though that it was because of the scarce tight ends available right now? Do you think teams are kind of evaluating the tight end position more than they have in the past as these multifaceted guys like Kittle and Kelsey kind of take the league by storm?
Yeah, this draft is also terrible for tight ends too, which is gonna make him even more valuable.
That's a good point. I think tight ends also, young tight ends take a little longer to develop than some other positions. I think most first, second year tight ends aren't going to produce as quickly as some other positions, especially like corners, pass rushers. I mean, obviously there's a learning curve for every position, but tight ends especially take a little bit longer.
Yeah, Rug, you're reading my mind tonight. I was literally just about to say that tight ends, the developmental curve in that position is just so much longer than any other position because you're kind of doing everything in the offense. You're blocking, you're running routes, you're catching. That because you said there was a lack of tight ends in the NFL today. Not a lack, like between there's a skill gap. Obviously, there's the top guys, and then you kind of like have everyone else. And I was just going to refer to that. I just think it takes a lot longer for these younger tight ends to develop into the Kittles, the Kelseys. Like OJ Howard's in his like third year. I think he's probably going to need like another year or two before he becomes that like Pro Bowl starting tight end. And obviously, sitting behind Gronk isn't going to hurt. Or playing with him in 12 personnel, just seeing what he does on film. Okay.
Rookie mistake. Who the fuck
someone want to take that?
Definitely Zach.
Yeah, definitely not me. Let's not blame that on me. That's Luke.
Me out.
That's coming through Luke. That's bullshit.